Tesla, Porsche, Toyota, you've all got a problem. Because this right here, the Huawei Luxeed R7, might be the first SUV that makes Tesla look outdated, Porsche look overpriced, and Toyota look irrelevant. How? Imagine walking into a dealership and pointing at something that looks like a Porsche Cayenne Coupe, drives like a Tesla Model Y, has more tech than a Mercedes EQS, and the dealer says, "Sure, that'll be 35 grand." Sounds impossible, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're not just looking at a car, we're looking at a warning shot fired straight at the West. Stick with me till the very end, because when you hear what Huawei has packed inside this SUV for the price of a Toyota Camry, you'll realize this isn't just another EV. This could be the car that flips the entire auto industry upside down. And hey, before we dive in, smash that subscribe button, because here on Wheel Factor, we don't talk about cars you already know. We talk about the ones about to change everything. Let's start with the looks, because that's what hits you first. This car doesn't scream budget EV. It screams European luxury coupe SUV. The sloping roofline looks like it came straight out of Stuttgart, as if a Porsche designer accidentally left their sketches at a Huawei office and somebody said, "Yeah, we'll take that." The headlights? Sleek, sharp, futuristic, like a concept car that somehow escaped the auto show and ended up in a mall parking lot. And the rear end, with its full-width LED strip, feels like Audi met Luxeed and had a baby. Now, here's where it gets spicy. Park this thing next to a Toyota RAV4, and suddenly the Toyota looks like it's auditioning for a rental fleet. Park it next to a Tesla Model Y, and the Tesla suddenly feels like a Chromebook, functional but soulless. And if you're a Porsche Cayenne Coupe owner, let me just warn you now, don't park next to a Luxeed R7. Unless you enjoy awkward conversations about why you spent 90 grand when the guy next to you spent a third of that. That's the trick. This car doesn't just look good for the money, it looks better than cars 2 or 3 times its price. We've seen budget EVs before, but they always had some compromise. Clunky proportions, boring wheels, a design that screamed, "Yeah, but it was cheap." This is styled to humiliate its price rivals. You're not just buying transport, you're buying status, aspiration, and Instagram flex. And here's the kicker. Depending on the trim, the R7 is expected to start just north of $35,000. That's Corolla money. That's entry-level crossover money. And yet visually, you're rolling around in something that people mistake for a luxury coupe SUV. Imagine explaining that to your neighbor. "Oh yeah, it cost about the same as your Honda Accord." That's not just value, that's a cultural shift. Step inside and things get even crazier, because here is where Huawei shows its real hand. Forget Tesla's bare-bones minimalist dashboard with one lonely screen floating like a lost iPad. The R7's interior is like walking into a futuristic smart lounge. Screens everywhere. Not just big, but sharp, fluid, and alive with color. It's running Harmony OS, Huawei's own smart operating system, the same DNA that powered their smartphones, tablets, and smart homes. Now, imagine your car isn't just a car, it's your phone, your laptop, your personal assistant, your smart home hub, all fused into one rolling machine. You sit inside and the AI assistant greets you like Jarvis. It remembers your seat setting, your playlist, the last restaurant you looked up on your phone. You say, "Hey, schedule my 3 p.m. meeting, close the blinds at home, and navigate me to the nearest Starbucks with parking." And it just does it, effortlessly. That's the scary part. Tesla fans brag about software, but Tesla's a car company that learns software. Huawei? Huawei is a software and hardware giant that just decided to build a car. That's like Lionel Messi deciding he wants to try basketball. Even if he's not perfect, he's still going to break ankles. And updates? Tesla pushes them once or twice a month. Huawei is infamous for its update speed. Phones get new features weekly. Imagine your car getting smarter like your smartphone, always adding, always improving. Today, it's just good voice commands. Next month, maybe it integrates with your work calendar. Next year, maybe it recognizes your kids' faces and adjusts the back seat climate for them. That's not a car, it's a living device. But you don't just buy a smart SUV to sit in the driveway playing with widgets. You want performance, and the R7 brings heat. Dual motor all-wheel drive, over 500 horsepower, 0 to 60 under 4. Let me say that again, under 4. That's family SUV body, sports car heart, faster than a BMW X5 M50i, faster than a base Porsche Cayenne, and infinitely faster than your neighbor's gas-powered crossover wheezing its way up a highway ramp. And then comes range. Nearly 800 kilometers, just under 500 miles on a single charge. Let that sink in. More than most Teslas, more than most BMWs, more than, well, basically everyone, except maybe a Luxeed, and that's double the money. This thing is making range anxiety look like a problem from 2015. Charging? 15 minutes. That's not marketing fluff. That's 30% to 80% in about the time you take to order and drink a latte. Meanwhile, in your Tesla, you're still standing at the supercharger, scrolling Instagram, pretending you don't notice the weird guy 2 stalls over. The R7 says, nah, get in, get out, keep moving. And then there's autonomy. Now, here's where the real knives come out. Because Tesla has been bragging for years about full self-driving. But let's be honest, half the time it's full self-guessing. Great on highways, but in cities, it still freaks out at unprotected lefts like a teenager learning stick shift. Huawei decided to skip the endless beta excuses and build its system with LiDAR from day one. Multiple sensors, multiple redundancies. And the result? It reports it handles chaotic Chinese city traffic like a champ. Think about that. Tesla engineers train on sanitized California suburbs. Huawei trains on Beijing and Shanghai, where you've got mopeds cutting across 6 lanes, pedestrians texting in the middle of the street, and delivery bikes ignoring red lights. If their system can handle that chaos, what's a quiet American suburb gonna look like? A vacation. And it's all powered by Huawei's own 7nm chip, a car brain designed by the same people who built telecom networks. This isn't just an SUV, it's a rolling supercomputer. Now, let's drop the bomb. Price, just over 35 grand. Let me repeat that slowly. The same ballpark as a Toyota Camry. Imagine standing in a dealership parking lot. On one side, a Toyota sedan that's solid, reliable, and boring. On the other side, this Porsche-looking, Tesla-beating, Huawei-powered spaceship that does 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Which way are you walking? Toyota Camry buyers want reliability, value, and practicality. Huawei says, fine, you'll get all that, but I'll also give you Porsche styling, Tesla range, Mercedes-level tech, and software that makes Apple CarPlay look like a toy for the same money. Tesla buyers want performance, cool tech, and a futuristic badge. Huawei says, cute, I'll give you all of that for 10 or 20 grand less. And guess what? My screens are better, my range is better, and my autonomy might actually work in a real city. And Porsche buyers? Oh man, if you bought a Cayenne coupe for $90,000, how do you explain to your neighbor why their $35,000 Huawei looks the same, goes just as fast, and has a smarter brain? What do you say? Well, mine has heritage. Good luck with that when the neighbor's kid thinks your 90 grand Porsche is just an overpriced Huawei copy. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Western automakers are shaking. Tesla's fat margins? Gone. Porsche's luxury dominance? Questioned. Toyota's reputation for unbeatable value? Threatened. This SUV isn't competing, it's outclassing. And it's not just about specs, it's about history repeating itself. In the 70s, Japanese automakers embarrassed Detroit with small, cheap, reliable cars. In the 2000s, Koreans like Hyundai and Kia did it again, offering stylish, affordable cars when nobody took them seriously. Now it's China's turn. But here's the nightmare for the West. They're not just offering cheap, they're offering better. Better design, better tech, better range, at a price that makes Western executives choke on their boardroom coffee. And here's the bigger picture. Cars aren't just metal and batteries. They're emotional. They're cultural. They're status. If Huawei can sell a Porsche-looking Tesla-beating Mercedes Smart EV for the price of a Camry, what happens to the psychology of car buyers? What happens when people stop caring about German badges and start caring about Chinese innovation? Remember when people laughed at Apple for trying to beat Nokia? Remember when BlackBerry owners said, oh, real professionals will never use iPhones? Yeah, where's Nokia now? Where's BlackBerry? That's what this feels like, the iPhone moment of the car industry. So here's the truth. The Huawei Luxeed R7 isn't just another SUV, it's a warning shot.
If it stays in China, maybe Tesla and Porsche and Toyota can breathe. But if Huawei goes global, Tesla stock doesn't just dip, Porsche doesn't just sweat, Toyota doesn't just lose some buyers. The entire Western auto industry wakes up to a nightmare they can't ignore. The question is, are they ready? Because the R7 already is. And that's why you subscribe to Wheel Factor. Because the next car I show you might just be the one your favorite automaker hopes you never see.